Hey everybody, what's up? Hope you're all doing amazing. I just wanted to do a quick video touching on the topic of energy siphoning and also the media. Okay, so let's go. Okay, so what I wanted to talk about today is inspired by what I see going on, how I see people feeling right now. Yesterday morning, I logged on to Twitter, not first thing in the morning, because that's definitely no part of a healthy, morning routine. I don't recommend waking up and plugging in with the collective immediately. But anyway, eventually, when I got done with my routine, I checked Twitter and everyone was upset, talking about the same subject. It's not an atypical day for the internet, but yeah. So a black person was killed by police, and so we have been watching this play out in essentially the same manner for a while now, since we've been having body cameras and we've been more autonomous. That some of the autonomy that I refer to with this shift that has and is currently occurring within our society. So part of that is the fact that a lot of us have cameras, or pretty much everyone has phones that can serve the purpose of recording history as it happens. Excuse me, let me turn this down. And so the social media, as having that autonomy, is a double-edged sword, which that is an occult expression, by the way, that you reap what you sow, as above, so below, as within, so without, killing two birds with one stone. Those are all occult expressions, and I can break down the meaning of those further in another video. But anyway, so social media is a double-edged sword, meaning it just, there's two sides to every coin. We're in the dimension in 3D, we're a part of a dualistic system. So there's always going to be two opposite poles to anything. So we can use media to empower ourselves or to disempower ourselves. What I don't think people realize is that the elites, or you could say the people behind the government, which is the shadow government, utilize social media, one, to surveil us. So it's a great way for them to do surveillance, to keep an eye on the human population and what type of things we're talking about, what type of things occupy our mental space, and what type of things pull on our heartstrings. So they study us very, very well. So and the other thing is, when different things go on, we can record it ourselves, we can post it ourselves, on our own platform, or not our own, it's owned by, for most people, it's Twitter or Facebook or YouTube, that's owned by someone else. But nonetheless, you can post that on your page, and we can collectively bond through trauma, which we've seen a lot of over the past few years, especially with certain type of events that have occurred. So essentially what happens is some type of great injustice occurs, and then there's an initial reaction to that. That's one of sadness. It hits you in your heart chakra, and it hits you in your root chakra. When you don't feel like your needs are potentially met, like a need of safety, protection, self-empowerment, those things are at risk. So it does affect those chakras and ultimately your full autonomy and capacity to operate at your highest level. So then it's predictive programming, so they already know what our response is going to be to their response. They know what the population's reaction is going to be to their response, so it's contrived. So for some reason, the general population tends to think that a situation that's occurred time and time again is going to yield different results this time. And that expectation throws people off when no justice is served, okay? So they do things that, according to their own indoctrination, their own way that they state society should operate, is asinine, okay? So they give people who are murderers pay time off, all right? They want to piss you off. That's called energy siphoning. This is what the elites do every day. This is why the news is considered like essential information and so important that you need to watch it. Why do you need to know about all the tragedy happening in the world? You wake up every day, you know that we live in a dual dimension, so you know some tragic shit happened today. That is very, very intentional. This is a way that they engage you in energy siphoning through emotional manipulation. So they are counting on the majority of people to already vibrate at a lower frequency, which makes them susceptible to being inundated with more lower frequencies, and thus diminishing the vibration of the entire collective, altering the frequency of the overall collective. So it doesn't matter what side you're on. Now they use race because at this point it's just very easy bait. They have solidified the construct of race for so long and cemented it into all of our psyches for so long that they know that it's the easiest way to play on our emotions, regardless of what side you're on. All right. So that's why they call revolutions in the form that we've been doing more commonly, protest, marching. I'm not against riots or anything, but they call it the resistance. Okay, so as we know when we study energy, resistance is the only thing that deters you from your path. And the elite, they are very aware of this notion. So they maintain their power by utilizing magic on a collective level. When we go back to the origin of media and publications, you'll find that its advent occurred due to the government wanting to propagate information from a certain angle to the masses. This way, they can plant seeds in everyone's psyches that manifest toward their benefit and against your benefit. It's detrimental to the masses. So what they do is they run interference on your frequency by creating these events and expecting us to have certain reactions to the events. So when they give these people paid vacation time after they commit murder, they're intending for you to be in pain. They're intending for you to hurt. They're intending for you to vibrate at some of the lowest frequencies possible. Okay. So when they do this, they're able to prevent you, distract you from achieving your highest potential. And they do this by intercepting your transmission to other dimensions, other vibrational spaces. So if you're trying to make a quantum jump, and that's my my term for now that I'm going to use for ascension. Quantum jump is already a scientific term, and it refers to a shift in energy, and that's essentially what you're doing when you are ascending. So I'll be referring to that. So when you're trying to make a quantum jump, which you have to do if you want to be on your life path, if you want to fulfill your higher purpose, then you've got to make a quantum jump. Because when you're within this frequency and you're constantly inundated with things that manipulate you, your frequency, it doesn't allow for clear transmission into a higher dimensional quantum space, quantum field, okay, that part of the quantum field. And see, if we all had the knowledge that the elites or the government, they're the people behind the government, Trump and Obama, all these people that everyone's mad about every day, they're just figureheads, okay? Trump is a clown. It's even funny if you look at his birth chart, it has clown written all over it, and that's intentional, okay? He's implanted there to trigger you on a regular basis, okay? They're just playing you guys like puppets. But anyway, so and I know this very well because I used to be really invested in politics and being militant and all this. Because of course, I believe in rights for all people and autonomy for all people. But there was so much interference when I was operating in that manner that I didn't really know what I was doing, So now I'm very grateful. I had a lot of time in solitude. I ended up moving cities and everything, and I was just ready for a change. And during that time, I stopped consuming all mainstream media, stopped watching TV. I only plugged into certain types of information. I detached myself from most people and thought forms and just everything, indoctrination, everything, to the point where now it's very clear to see the programs that are being run, and it's very easy to see how they try to derail individuals on a collective scale. Because if we as individuals all realize what our paths were, we would eventually uplift the whole collective through our individual missions. So I'm very grateful. Even now, I don't watch the news. I consume certain types of media, and I'm grateful to occupy this space because learning how to create my own world has allowed me to manifest a space within myself and materially, physically for myself that is just a much better place. It's where I wanted to be this whole time. It's where my soul was calling me to this whole time. And a lot of people are being called to that space, but you can't hear the instructions right now. Okay, so, I've received downloads and been given a path, and everyone has one. And we can all, when you enter this other space in the quantum field, you're able to see so many more solutions and possibilities than problems. But you cannot solve this world's problems while being of this world. Okay, so tap into something higher, tune into yourself, and tune out of all that bullshit. All right, don't let them siphon your energy. Use it to fuel yourself, to get in tune with yourself and source, and to be on your mission. All right, so no more frustration. You can know every day you're working toward better for the collective, not complaining, not begging for crumbs, but taking back your power and doing what you were called here to do, because you absolutely came here for a reason.